If you guys can believe it, wholesale vegetable prices rose 38.9% in July. Hmm. Huh. I don't think that this has anything to do with the mass arrest and deportation of laborers. This has nothing to do with this. It's okay though. Vegetables are woke, so it's fine. Okay, so like, what about meat prices rising? What about that one? So what about this one? Last time I checked, beef is not woke. Beef prices soar to all-time high. The price of ground beef and uncooked beef steaks has risen by 11.5% and 12.4% respectively, both now at record levels. So what about that? Average ground beef prices rose to a record $6.34 per pound in July, while uncooked beef steaks reached an all-time high of $11.88 per pound. So what about this? Went to a steakhouse in Vegas and they charged $70 per ounce for beef from Idaho. Dude, don't even get me started on Vegas. We'll get to Vegas in a little bit because that's another one where it's like, oh, I know, shocking. When you make everything obscenely expensive in every single way and people's quality of life goes down and people's pay goes down and they have less disposable income, everything gets more expensive. It's like the very, very short explanation of this. This is not, I know, crazy. What I'm about to draw is not a real document. But basically, if like the average restaurant in Vegas needs like to make 10K that month to stay in business, to afford rent and pay, this is really cheap. But like, let's just say, just for argument's sake, okay? And at like peak tourism, they're making, sorry, I should have put this lower. At peak tourism, they were making like 20K. Selling things for reasonable prices. As people get poorer and poorer, and as more and more money gets shifted over into the pockets of the richest people in this country, less and less people have the not only income to go on vacation more, but the time to go on vacation, right? Like if you can't afford your rent and you can barely afford your rent, your car payments, you know, food, like basic necessities, healthcare, whatever, you're just going to go on vacation less. And the less you go on vacation, the worse off vacation destinations are going to be. And Vegas is a vacation destination. It's like, you know what I mean? Like it's not like Vegas can survive on the population of Vegas. And so as that number goes down, the restaurants have to start charging more per thing, right? Because if this is, this line is like tourist numbers. Tourist numbers. This is two charts. This is one of those weird charts that's like, it's got like two y-axes. Okay. And this is time, obviously. So they're going to have to start charging more, right? To make up for this, to make up for the fact that their income is going down or like their revenue is going down. So like the steak that they used to be able to sell for $40, now they have to sell it for $70 because they're getting like half the number of people that show up. And then as more people see those prices, less people come and less people come and less people come. Facts, we locals go to Fremont Street for First Friday once a month to let loose, and then we avoid the strip at all costs. Yeah. Like the tourist industry in the US, and also not to mention all of the travel, not restrictions, but warnings on the US, because if you show up to the US and you're brown or you have a photo of JD Vance that's been photoshopped, you might just get deported to God knows where. I wonder why the prices in Vegas are going up. Maybe they lay people off. Yeah, but you should always just assume every single restaurant, because anecdotally, every single restaurant is already understaffed and overworked. So at some point, you just can't really fire that many more people. Like you still need a server. You still need at least one server. You can't just fire all of the servers. Oh, Bobby, by the way, I'm sorry, I missed some subs. Oh, Bobby, thank you for the 5 gift subs. Sham, thank you for the 8. Austin Show Defender, thank you for the 3 months. Eldridge, thank you for the 12. Demon Stasis, thank you for the 13. Cat Plinth, thank you for the 27. Nap Time, thank you for the 10. Thank you, guys. All right. Former waiter, that's fact, always understaffed. I've never worked in as a server, like as a hostess or anything, but I've known a lot of friends that have worked in food service, and I think servers should be able to spit in your face. I think that they should. I think when like a judge has to hear a case about manslaughter, and the person who conducted the manslaughter was a server, the first question should be, was it on the job? And the second question should be, would you like to leave? You can go now. As long as it was on the job, you're good to go. Like, that's it. Please. Sorry, that was the only question I needed to ask you. Okay, great. Case dismissed. If it's off the job, I'm sorry. You're going to be held to the same standards everybody else is going to be held to. Sorry. But like, that sounds like there should be some immunity there, man. Always understaffed managers don't care. Dude, I can confirm as a former server of many years, people legit think that it's your job to receive abuse on the hope you'll get a tip. Bro. If it's like a nice restaurant and the order is wrong, I'll send it back. Otherwise, that's it. That's it. That's the only instance. All right. I'll never understand people that are rude to people that can and will spit on your food. Bro.
Now, new look at prices at the grocery store. July Consumer Price Index shows inflation for food prices over the past month, that's steady, but over the past year, that number is 2.9%. Recent polling shows that Americans are worried about the cost of food. In fact, 53% say grocery prices are a major stress. Joining us,
guys, are you tired of winning yet?
Now is Stu Leonard Jr. from Stu Leonard's Grocery Stores. Hi, Stu. Quite the backdrop you have for us. All right, I know you have some props as well. What items
the libs are owned. That's all that matters. Dude, so true. So true.
Your stores are going up the most with prices?
Well, here's a good one. You guys could put this on the grill right here, but here's probably one of our ranchers' favorite when they come, sort of like a Fred Flintstone steak. But,
it does look kind of good.
Ribeye steaks are huge, and meat prices have gone up. We're at a like historic low herd size in America, so the supply is very low, and prices have ticked up. I just talked to our meat buyer this morning, and he said he's feeling even more escalation in meat. Could be around 80 to.
Dude, his name is literally spelled Stew like the meat dude.
Cents to $1 a pound coming up to the holidays.
So when do you see that trend subsiding?
Boy, I don't know. Another thing that's really big is we have shrimp, and right now we can either get it from Ecuador, we could get it from India, but the bay there, India has huge tariffs, so we're not buying it from India right now. That's 50%, I believe, and now Ecuador is at 15%. So we're trying to move our shrimp production over to Ecuador, which is.
This is the saddest thing, by the way. Most Americans don't understand grocery stores and don't understand supply chains and don't understand that the average apple in the store is like a year old. So they've been voting for Trump and they're like, egg prices are going down. Yeah, because of Donald Trump. And they have no idea that it's going to get much worse very soon. Because once we actually have to start implementing new costs for the new grocery food prices. How could an apple be a year old? Wait, what, a year? How old are apples in the store? Apples are sold year round, so barring a shortage, you can buy an apple anytime you want. But if you know anything about apple trees, you know that the fruit is in season for a short time only. How old are the apples in the store? It depends on when you buy them, but they could be up to 10 months old. Apples are only harvested once a year from August to November, and that's it. So if you're eating an apple in winter, spring, or summer, and that apple came from the grocery store, it was picked the previous fall. How do they keep the apples from rotting? It's all about maintaining perfect temperature and oxygen level, and that depends on when the apples will be sold. If apples are destined for the supermarket immediately after harvesters, growers either ship them directly or store them at temperatures between 34 and 38 degrees. That's about the same temp as your fridge. For apples that will be sold during the harvest season, this keeps them fresh until they're shipped to the grocery store. Until they're shipped to the grocery store. Apples that need to last until the next harvest season go into a special refrigeration state called controlled atmosphere storage, or CA. Here, growers drop the oxygen levels down between 1 and 3%, depending on variety. Normal air has about 21% oxygen. Temperature, humidity, and carbon dioxide levels are also strictly monitored. This keeps the apples from ripening until they're ready to ship. And some growers call it putting them to sleep. Yeah, that's why certain foods are so much worse during certain seasons. This is false information. They actually keep them fresh by bargaining with the enemy, the hungry caterpillar. Okay, that's the truth that I'm too scared to share with all of you. Okay, the hungry caterpillar will come after me. What's bad about this? No, nothing is bad about this. This is fucking dope. This is science being insane and incredible in every fucking way imaginable. But this is also why during like the fall, apples are suddenly really sweet. You guys ever have this experience where you buy certain fruits and vegetables and during some months you buy the same fruit and it's just way better, and other months you buy the same fruit and it's way worse? It's because it's not in season. That's why watermelon earlier in the year is like worse, and watermelon sometimes later is better. Grapes are another good one. Grapes are actually the best example, I feel like, where grapes, when they're in season, are so good. And grapes out of season literally taste like nothing. Or even worse, sour. You should, if you are a big fruit person or you're a big even pie person, look up when is the best season for every fruit. Every fruit has the most optimal season to enjoy it because that's the harvesting season. And just because you can buy it year round doesn't mean it's good year round. Wouldn't know I'm allergic to fruit. That's tough. I wouldn't believe you normally, but I did meet a person once that actually was allergic to fruit, and your life sucks low key. I'm sorry for you. I don't know. I'm sorry if that's toxic. That's brutal. That's brutal. I love fruit. You're like an almanac. I learned so much shit on your stream. Thank you. Thank you. Apple season is also right around the corner for all Northeasterners. Yeah. I mean, you can also, I highly recommend, if you want to have like the freshest fruit, go to farmers markets, because usually if you go to farmers markets during the right seasons, you will get super fresh fruit that's in season, that's really sweet, and is optimal. So moving on. A lot of people just like don't know, which is, it's fine to not know. That's not the problem. The problem is when experts tell you, not me, I'm not the expert. I'm talking about the economists who understand the supply chain. When they tell you, dude, the tariffs are going to fuck you. I don't know why you thought voting for Trump was a good idea. And they're like, oh yeah, well then why are there still apples on the food shelves? Why are they still there? And they're still cheap. Why is it's like, yeah, because those are from last season, you fucking moron.
Thank you for teaching us, Professor Pants.
Anytime. That's why. you like, huh? So like, I'm just gonna say, shit's about to get bad. So once the supply chain catches up, which it's on like at least like a 2-month delay, it's about to get bad, and it's starting to get bad.
Huge. We do 500,000 pounds of shrimp a year at Stu Leonard, so it's a big thing.
What about some other items like coffee, like eggs? Where does that stand?
Hey, well, coffee is that's a supply and demand issue right now. They're having some heat problems and weather problems, so coffee prices have spiked. Um, but this is a big one here because usually what we can do here is I can resource product, sort of like what I did during COVID. We were jumping all around trying to buy product from all over the world, and we're doing the same thing now because of the tariffs.
But
Um,
there's like limits. And even if you do that, the reason why we buy from sorry, this is like really basic. The reason you buy from some stores and other stores is because it's more efficient. Whether that's because it's the closest store to you, which makes the trip less expensive in time, or because it has the cheapest product. It's the same thing on like a larger scale. The grocery stores are going to go to whatever is the cheapest or most convenient. That makes the most sense. So should average Americans stockpile on pantry food, freeze a bunch of produce, tips? I mean, I think so, yeah. But like, I don't know. I don't think you should go full prepper either. It's also how much space do you reasonably even have in your fridge, right? Or in your freezer. I like to freeze food, but I have a normal sized fridge, so there isn't really that much space to put that in.
So bananas is one thing. It's a 15% tariff from Costa Rica. We don't grow them in America, so you have to import those, and that's a 15% tariff. Our importers eating the whole thing. They have not raised the price yet. So I talked to our buyers this morning. The C's are calm. We have not raised prices at Stu Leonard's due to the tariffs. We've had a little bit of increase in things like aluminum trays from China and stuff. Negligible. We haven't raised prices, but I don't see that happening unless this tariff thing gets worked out by really next month or even October.
Just to be clear, you don't see your ability to continue not raising prices unless the tariff situation is worked out. Is that what you're saying?
Well, we've been here 50 years. We work on thin margins. Like my dad always said, people have to eat. So we're always going to be busy and have sales, but we don't make a lot of money. Now, I can't absorb, if all of a sudden there's a 50% tariff on something or even a 25%, I can't absorb all of that as a family business. So,
But even on like a larger scale, if the producers aren't willing to eat the cost because they can't eat the cost, then you're just fucked. Don't go full prepper, but definitely have a stock pantry of like dried beans, pasta, things that don't perish easily. Yeah, I would say my best advice, best bet. But like this is just good advice I feel like in general to have. Just having things that don't go bad easily. Like I don't know if this is the poor person in me showing. It's never a bad idea to just have like a big 20-pound bag of rice in your pantry. Like how long does it take for a bag like that to go bad? It takes a long time. Or like a bunch of bags of like beans. It takes a long time. So there's nothing wrong with having, if you do want to prep a little, there's nothing harmful about that. But that's like, I feel like everybody should live like that. Everybody should just have like a good big bag of beans and a good bag of rice around. Cooking raw beans is annoying. Yeah, because you have to soak them the night before. And I feel like there are certain things that are really good to store in your freezer. Like, for example, if you're a big garlic enjoyer, garlic enjoyers rise up. Garlic haters, you are vampires, and I will never let you enter my home unless you promise to turn me. You could just like buy a bunch of garlic, put it in a food processor, and then just throw it in a Ziploc bag. Like, it's very easy to store. Very, very easy to store. Which I only do that because food just goes bad in my house if I don't like freeze it. Same thing with like parsley and cilantro. You ever buy parsley or cilantro for one recipe and then you still have like the rest of it and you're like, well, this is definitely going to go bad. Dude, highly recommend just chop it all up and just put it in a plastic bag and freeze it. And the next time you need it, you have a bunch of chopped fucking parsley. It's dope. So there are a lot of things that I feel like freeze well and don't take a lot of space. Why not dry it? I feel like drying it changes the flavor of it a little bit and the texture. I feel like, and also freezing, I feel like is really easy. You could get something to dry stuff, but everybody has a freezer. Should coffee addicts stock up now? How long does coffee last? Dude, coffee kind of lasts forever, but the flavor diminishes hardcore. If you're a coffee enjoyer, coffee beans. You want to get the beans. You do want to get as freshly roasted beans as you can. So anyways, the beans are gone. The thing that sucks is I actually really love banana as a fruit. And bananas, they freeze well, but you can only make certain things with them like smoothies. But you can't really save a banana. Like you can't save the same banana experience. Right? You kind of like, again, unless you're making banana bread or you're making like a smoothie or you're making like banana ice cream or something, you can't really store the authentic banana, the raw banana experience, which sucks. That really sucks. That one's just like, say deuces, say goodbye to that. Okay, pick me. Calm down, Jessica, stop. So, yeah. The freezer is your friend, though. The freezer is your friend. Any herbs and stuff that you really, really like, anything that needs to get cooked. Dope. I like bananas when they're a little green. Me too. Me too. I know people are haters on this take, but I like them when they're just like, just a little green. That's when they're the best. And once they get spotted, I'm like, I don't want this anymore. I know this is actually my most controversial opinion. This is my favorite banana color. When they're just a little green. Anywhere from here to, why is this image so low res? Why are these all? Anywhere from there to this. Once they start getting spotty, I'm like, oh God, the flavor changes. Basically, they just get sweeter, and I don't like that. I don't appreciate it. They just get a little too sweet for me. The texture changes, and they get a little too sweet for me. But this, once they get like this, I'm like, I don't like them. I don't like them anymore. I know this is my most incorrect opinion. Just this is, I've accepted. I will die on this cross. This is my most incorrect opinion. Thank you to everybody saying that they like the new profile picture. All right. Anywho, but don't go full prepper, chat. Don't go insane, and then please don't buy the buckets of gruel. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't buy the like 5 20-pound buckets of gruel. That shit is disgusting. And you're not going to eat it. That's the thing. You're going to have like one bite and you're going to be like, dude, I'll just pay like $60 for DoorDash. The emergency food gruel is like the biggest scam on the planet. There's a reason it's for emergencies only. Yeah. Slop buckets. Buy now. Buy slop buckets now.